Welcome to your digital exploration of ancient Egypt. I am Connor Laveau from Mrs. Escamilla's 4th period class, and I will be your tour guide today. On this tour, you will learn about and visit the Nile River, the Great Pyramid, the Sphinx at Giza, the Temple Complex at Karnak, the Valley of the Kings, Deir el-Bahari, and Abu Simbel. Our first stop is the stunning Nile River. Many say that the Nile River is the heart of ancient Egypt. Most cities in ancient Egypt were built bordering the Nile for many reasons. The first reason was for farming capabilities and fresh water. Since ancient Egypt was mostly desert terrain and received little rainfall, it was vital that people and farmers had enough water for crops, bathing, cooking, and drinking. The reason the Nile made such good farmland was because it would flood regularly, and during floods, the river would leave the surrounding area fertile and good for farming. The river also provided fish and supported animals. The second reason for cities bordering the Nile was for trade and travel. Since the desert terrain was dangerous to travel through, a lot of travel took place in the Nile River. People would travel in sailboats, and wind would push the boats south, but when people wanted to return to their homes, the river's flow carried the boats north. This led to more trade between cities. The final reason cities were built bordering the Nile River was for protection from attackers. To get to the Nile River from the eastern or western borders of Egypt, one would have to travel over hundreds of miles of desert terrain, which was extremely dangerous at the time. From the north, invaders couldn't use boats to travel through the Mediterranean Sea and then into the Nile because the marshy lands of the delta offered no place to dock. From the south, Nile's dangerous cataracts blocked enemy boats from reaching the Egyptian cities. And because of these challenges, many invaders couldn't reach the cities bordering the Nile River. Our next stops include the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx in Giza. The Great Pyramid was built to be the tomb of King Khufu. The pyramid was commissioned by King Khufu, and it took his men over 20 years to build it. During his reign, people thought that Khufu was kind and a great leader, and he made pharaohs revered leaders for generations beyond him. The Great Pyramid was built in the Old Kingdom, and it was built in the city of Giza. The Sphinx was also built in the Old Kingdom and is located in Giza, but it was built by the pharaoh Khafre, one of Khufu's sons. The Sphinx has the body of a cat and the head of Khafre. It was originally 243 feet long and 72 feet high. The Sphinx originally had a beard and a nose, but the beard fell off and the nose was mysteriously destroyed. Our third stop is the Temple Complex at Karnak. The Temple Complex at Karnak stretches more than 200 acres. The complex is home to many different structures, such as temples, chapels, obelisks, columns, and statues. The complex is located in the city of Thebes, or current-day Luxor, Egypt, and was under construction for over 2,000 years during the New Kingdom. During the 2,000 years, many different pharaohs commissioned construction at the complex, such as Senusret I, who built the Jubilee White Chapel, Hatshepsut, who built an obelisk, and Ramesses II, who built a statue of himself. The purpose of the temple complex was for pharaohs to showcase their power in the form of art. Our fourth stop is the Valley of the Kings. The Valley of the Kings was built to be a hidden burial place for pharaohs in the New Kingdom period. The valley is home to 63 known tombs, and archaeologists predict there may be many more. All of the burial sites were built into the hills to try and hide them from bandits and raiders. Tombs were once overflowing with art, statues, food, water, and anything the mummy would need to make it to the afterlife. There was not one pharaoh who built the Valley of the Kings, but some of the most famous pharaohs who are buried there include Hatshepsut, Tutankhamun, or King Tut, and Ramesses II. The valley is found on the west bank of the Nile River, opposite to the modern city of Luxor. Our fifth stop is Hatshepsut's mortuary temple in Deir el-Bahari, located opposite to the current-day city of Luxor, Egypt. Hatshepsut's temple in Deir el-Bahari was built in the New Kingdom and was commissioned by Pharaoh Hatshepsut. The walls of the temple have hieroglyphs telling of Hatshepsut's achievements as pharaoh. For example, Hatshepsut was the first and only woman pharaoh, and she helped Egypt prosper through trade. Hatshepsut was not buried in the temple, but instead in the Valley of the Kings, where the Egyptians thought she would be safer and better hidden. Our final stop is the temples at Abu Simbel. There are 2 temples in Abu Simbel, the Great Temple and the Smaller Temple. On the front of the Great Temple, there are 4 statues of Ramesses II that are taller than 6-story buildings. From examining the hieroglyphs in the temple, archaeologists suggest that the Great Temple was built to celebrate Ramesses II's victory over the Hittites at the Battle of Kadesh. Both the Great Temple and the Smaller Temple were carved out of the mountain rather than built with stone. The Smaller Temple was built for one of Ramesses II's 100 wives, Nefertari, and was dedicated to the goddess Hathor. The temples were both commissioned by Ramesses II in the New Kingdom period. Ramesses II is often referred to as Ramesses the Great because he ruled for 66 years, made the world's first peace treaty, had 100 wives and 100 children, and had 9 pharaohs named after him. I hope this digital tour has inspired you to visit these amazing places in real life, and that you will tell all of your friends to take this tour and see ancient Egypt in their own homes, too.